Welcome to this introductory video on glass. What I'm going to be going through in this video is some of the different types of glass that is available, some basic marking out on glass for cutting straight lines, and also how to score and cut a straight line on glass, and for cutting your other types of glass as well. So first of all, I'd like to go through some of the different types of glass that you can get and what we might call those, so that you have a bit of a language to use when describing what you would like to have. So I'm going to start on the left and work our way to the right. I'm just going to move this one over here. So this one here is called confetti glass, and they kind of make these giant bubbles of glass and then they break them once they are no longer hot anymore. And you get this very, very, very thin shards of glass, and you can kind of arrange them and create a neat little pattern on your glass to create a different kind of patterned surface. Okay, you can pick and choose your colors sometimes, and overlapping them gets you darker and darker colors. Next to those, we have got this kind of spaghetti. Oh, it's kind of disappointing it's not called spaghetti, but it's called stringer. Okay, and they're like spaghetti, dried spaghetti strands of coloured glass. Next to that, we have got this one here. Now, they were sensible with this one. This is called fettuccine. Okay, similar to the stringer, except that it is long and it is flat. Okay, now I've got this one here especially out to show you that if you find a bar of orangey coloured glass and it has this kind of darker orange thing through the middle, it's not actually going to come out of the kiln that colour. It's going to come out of the kiln more like the colour on the end of this here. Okay, it's really red colour. So sometimes glass changes colour once it's been heated up. It won't ever change back again. Okay, it's just important to note that occasionally you will come across glass that does change colour when it's been through the kiln. Okay. So that is your fettuccine glass. Moving on over here, we're going to go straight over to this one here. This is our opaque glass. Okay, this one has a light texture on the surface, a light ribbled texture on one surface, and the other side will be flat. We have our patterned glass. So did I say that was opaque? That is transparent. Transparent glass. You can get opaque in solid colours as well. That was what I was thinking. Okay, so this is your kind of patterned glass, and you can see the pattern's only on one surface. The other one is basically just opaque or translucent colour with the pattern just on the top surface. It doesn't go all the way through. And these can be quite pretty to use with things. Down here we've got some glass that has got some pattern on it. Now these bits here, these are actually called frit. And I don't have any of those to show you, but if you can think of glass that might be crushed up into particles, and then they can come in quite large kind of chunky particles and be kind of slightly finer, and then go even finer again to the last one is kind of like this really fine powder. Okay, all of those are referred to as frit, and they're just kind of given different names for the different particle size. So here we've got where frit has been applied to the glass in the manufacture of the sheet. Okay, and there might have been some stringers involved as well. And then this has been pressed or allowed to cool, and it's got a little bit of texture on one side and it's perfectly flat on the other. Again, it's usually on the top surface only. This one here, again, it's just been applied to the top surface. You can see that, and this one's got confetti and a little bit of stringer going on there. Okay. Again, can be really quite nice, that one there. This one here is kind of pretty. It's probably been holding your attention for most of the time that I've been doing this. This is called dichroic glass. It does come in lots of different colours, and it is just a surface coating. Okay, so it comes on usually either clear, white or black glass, but it can otherwise be other colours depending on the colour of the dichroic coating. And this one here is on quite textured glass, but it can also come on very flat glass. So those are some of the different types of glass that you might come across in your options for what you're going to be making. Okay, I'm going to move some of these off of my board now. I'll pick them back up if I need to use them for the demo. Okay, for showing how to mark out and cut things. Let's put that all to one side. Alrighty, so the first thing you're going to need when you are getting ready to work with glass is one of these boards, okay? They are just a wooden board and they've got this bit of matting on top, okay? And it might be something like a carpet, or in this case, I think it's pinboard material. And you just want to have that, because it's nice and soft of a surface, it's not gonna scratch your glass. It's got a tiny amount of give, but not too much give. And that's important, okay? We don't want too much give underneath it. We want just enough that it's going to have a little bit of movement, but not so much that you crack the glass just by pushing down on it, okay? Alrighty, so I'm gonna just grab two of my pieces and put them over here. Okay, marking out on glass. Standard marking out tools are just a outline or permanent marker. The thinner permanent marker you can get, the easier it's going to be and the more accurate your lines are going to be. I don't have a thin one with me at the moment, so we're just going to use this one here. A ruler and a tri-square. Now with any of the metal tools that you use, if you can have something on the coating, on the surface that's going to touch your glass to make it softer, but without compromising the use of it, then that's desirable. But if not, just be really careful with how you use them so as not to cause extra scratches in your glass, okay? You don't want to scratch your glass up, otherwise it might not cut where you want it to. So just like when you're marking out on many other materials, you use your ruler, make a mark where you want to cut your piece. Okay, I might do one at about 10 millimeters. Use your tri-square if it's got a straight edge on it like this one does. Test your markers in the right spot and then mark your line the whole way along. Okay. Now if you have slightly textured glass, you want to do this on the flattest side that you can. Okay, so let's go back and have a look at our dichroic glass. If I'm marking this out, I'm going to mark it out on the back surface there. Okay, that's important for this. Now, if I had a black permanent marker and black glass, I might look at using something like a paint marker so that I can see what I'm doing. Right, so that is marking out on glass. Very, very simple. Okay, especially when it's for straight lines. Nice, quick and easy thing to do there. Okay, I'm going to go through cutting glass at the moment, and I'm going to take this minute to just kind of go through some safety stuff with you guys as well. Obviously, when you're dealing with glass, you've got really sharp edges. So be careful about how you pick it up and hold onto it, and be careful about what else might be on this. The other benefit of having this board is that it will keep any little shards of glass close by. It's not going to scatter them across the bench on you. Okay, so we want to have that like that. So you're going to do all of your work on one of these boards. Partially for that reason. It's not only just a good surface to do this on, it also keeps everybody safer as well. So keep everything that you do on and over one of these boards. The second thing is, before you do any cutting, you need to put safety glasses on. Okay, you must wear your safety glasses because you just don't know what might happen, especially when you're getting started with cutting glass, where it might go, etc. Okay, so safety glasses need to go on for cutting. Alrighty. So keeping an eye on my sharp edges so I'm not going to cut myself when I'm handling my glass. Alrighty, we don't want to put gloves on because we lose too much dexterity, okay? But we can keep this here. Alrighty, cutting tools. Cutting is a two-stage process for cutting straight lines in glass. Okay, you have the scoring process and your glass cutting tool. We call it a glass cutting tool even though it scores the glass. Might look like a pistol-shaped one or a pencil-shaped one. Different people have different preferences, and you might just have one of these as available at the time or the other one, and you might get a chance to try out both of them depending on what's available when you are ready to do your glass cutting. Other than that, we have got these ones here. These are called running pliers. And they have this special shaped jaw here, which is kind of like an upside down curve. Okay, and what that's going to do, and a little line on top there. So you've got to line up the little score mark that you've made on your glass with that line. And then when you squeeze this together, it's going to bend the glass in that curved shape and cause it to break along that score line. Pretty smart. Okay. You also have grazing pliers. These are pliers that have got this kind of extra bit of the jaw in there, and they can be used for gripping and breaking as well, or for kind of nibbling away at the edge of your glass if you need to remove just that little bit more, okay? Or a really small piece where your running pliers are just too big to really get that bend happening well, okay? Now you can also use a tri-square or an engineer square even, or a straight edge, okay, on your material to help you with lining up your cutter with your actual line that you've created, okay? Now it's really important that when you're testing out whether your cutter's in the right spot or not, that you're not pressing down at all while doing it, okay? That is super important because you don't want to have any more than one line scoring your material. If you end up with too many lines scoring your material, okay, if you have a look at this one here, someone's really gone to town, okay, they haven't even gone all the way to the edge, but if I tried to cut this anywhere now, it's going to crack anywhere along any of these. I have no idea which one it might be. It could be any one of those lines, and that's what's going to break along, okay? So we really don't want to do that. We want one nice, neat line that it will break along, okay? So this is bad. Alrighty, now coloured glass and clear glass will also score differently and it will sound different, okay? So just be aware of that, and when you're kind of figuring out why one broke really well and the other one didn't, it might be just that what you were doing was better for one, but you did the same thing for the other one, it just didn't work as well for the other one, and you'll get a feel for it as you go along. Okay, so I'm going to score this now. I'm going to bring this towards me, okay? So I'm going to start at the top there, I'm going to bring this towards me, I'm going to go all the way along. So I'm going to start right at the top and then go all the way along with a nice even pressure and movement. Okay, I don't want to go too quick and I don't want to go, well, I don't think you can go too slow. Okay, just want to have a nice, oh, probably too much pressure there. Okay, so you could hear that nice little bit of a going on in the background there. That was me scoring the glass. Okay, you probably can't see it very clearly. Okay, I think that's too close to the camera now. I can't even get the light to show it up, but it is there, okay? You're gonna have to trust me. I'll do it on the green glass in a minute so you can see it a bit better. Okay, so I've got my running pliers here. I've lined that little line on top up with the line that I've cut it on. Squeeze that down. You can see it a little bit fly off then. It's important to have your safety glasses on. Okay, and it's now cut that little piece of glass off for me. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. We're doing that. I'm not going to mark this one out. I'm just going to cut. Maybe I'll just cut that triangular piece off the end there. Okay. Okay, so you could hear that again. You see that a little bit better on the transparent glass. Again, putting my running pliers in. Bing. Okay. Now, in theory, you can break glass by kind of twisting and pulling away with your hands at the same time, but with the edge being sharp, I don't like to do that because you have to apply a little bit of pressure to do that. When we have these running pliers, why wouldn't you just use the running pliers? Okay, so that is breaking or scoring and cutting your glass. Now, if you are using some of the stringer and you want to break a piece of that off, that's just nice and simple. Just hold it nice and close with your fingers together like that, and then just start to bend it to break it away. Your fettuccine can be a little bit more tricky and sometimes benefits from just having a little light scoring. Oh, you can also just break it by pushing on it and snapping it with your fingers, okay? So you don't have to worry about scoring that. You can try, but you'll probably find that it's not going to work too well. Okay, and then breaking it with your fingers nice and easily. Okay, so that should answer all of your questions on how to mark out and cut glass. For information on how you then might like to layer glass up to do something or to look like something, and what it might look like once it's been through the kiln. Okay, there's another video that I have made up for giving you some examples for doing fusing, glass fusing. So I recommend you go and have a watch of that. Excellent, alrighty, see you in class, bye.